Hi everybody, Tim here with tonight's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 2, Episode 18, Profit and Loss. So this is an okay episode. It's not fantastic, but it's kind of interesting. And what makes it interesting is actually the little things. It's not the overall plot. The overall plot is basically a female Cardassian, Katima, I think her name was, comes to the station, and it turns out that she's an old flame of Quark's. And that's what part of this makes this episode interesting, is Quark is still the Quark we all know and love, and he's funny, and he does what he does. But this episode's it's kind of a little serious for Quark, because he's madly in love with this Cardassian, and he wants to keep her and make her happy, but she just wants to get away, basically. And then once we get to the end, we find out she still has feelings for him, but her love for her race and trying to make her race a better people outweighs the love that she has for Quark. So some of the little things that I really liked about this episode was from the very beginning, we see Garak and Dr. Bashir having lunch together, which after watching the documentary, I'm never going to see them having lunch together the same way again. And Garak is basically, he's just being Garak and talking about how you need to look out for your people and stuff like that. And Dr. Bashir says to be loyal before you can be loyal to another, you have to be loyal to yourself. And Garak's like, oh, where does that pearl of wisdom come from? Like Sarek of Vulcan, which I thought was a nice little shout out to Sarek. I think he'd already passed away as far as the series goes in The Next Generation at this point. So I thought that was kind of cool. And of course, any episode with Garak is a good episode. One of my favorite effects in The Next Generation was a little bitty scene. It was in the episode Conundrum, and it's where Data is in the bar and he makes a Sumerian sunset for Counselor Troy, and the old-fashioned way, and he pours it, and then he thumps the glass, and then it just does the color effect. We see that same thing in this one, where Quark makes that drink for the Cardassians. So I liked how they kept that little thing. It's the little things for me that in a franchise where they keep reoccurring that makes it worthwhile. Because like they say, less is more, and those little effects make it so we know we're in that same universe. So I like that. So throughout the episode, like I said, this Cardassian comes to the station, and then as soon as she sees Garak, she tries to escape. And of course, Garak ends up riding her out to the Cardassian people, so they're coming to get her. Which, again, we get to the end, and it turns out Quark has a cloaking device, which is super illegal, and he gives it to her, and she escapes. But to watch Garak kind of turn and be more aggressive than he has been in the past, where he just totally sells this woman out, and it's kind of interesting. And when they question him why he does this, he says, well, exile wears a bit thin, even in surroundings as nice as these. And that's kind of a shout out to an episode we'll get to pretty soon, where Garak is just miserable on Deep Space Nine, and he hates it, and it's too hot, and it's too bright, and he can't handle being in these conditions. So it's kind of interesting. I think that's a little shout. I think they already knew they were going to do that overdose episode. I think it's The Wire. I think they already knew they were going to do that episode, and this was a nice little shout out to what was to come ahead. So I like that. Of course, we get to the end of the episode, and one of the Gulls is there, and he's about to kill the Cardassian woman, and Garak realizes that she's right, and they all need to work at bettering themselves as a species, and so Garak ends up helping her escape. So overall, I thought it was a good episode. I didn't think it was great. It kind of bogged down a little bit in parts, but the little things are what really made this episode shine for me. And like I said, seeing Quark in a serious role, seeing Quark being in love, and then of course Garak, the acting is what really made this episode shine for me. So for those who have seen this one, what did you guys think? What did you guys think about seeing Quark in a love relationship? What did you guys think about Garak and knowing his future episode with his drug addiction? Go ahead, let me know what you guys just thought about this episode. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for the subscriptions, the friend requests, all of that. I will see you guys next time for one of my favorite episodes. I love this episode, Blood Oath.